Oh boy, are we in for a wild one today. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. We have a book haul today. Now, disclaimer time, as every beginning of every haul video, I have a lot of books here. This is my biggest haul, and I know sometimes people can get offended by hauls. For a start, if that is you, please exit this video now. I won't be offended, I understand, not everyone likes to watch them, that is fine. This is for the people who do like to watch, get some recommendations, whatever. I personally love them, so I like to make them. Second of all, I have not uploaded a haul since my birthday in April, so this has been like 4 to 5 months worth of books. It's more than 4 to 5 months worth of books, I'm well aware of that. You can't see it right now, but there's piles, all levels are here, and then they kind of go up. A lot of these I have bought, which is wrong because I've spent a lot of money on them. A lot of these have been gifted to me from my friends, who I love so very much, and some of them have been given to me by companies, and so there is more than the average person would need. However, I do have a channel on it, so it is what it is. I'm going to get straight into it, so please, no hate, okay? There's no order to this whatsoever. I'm going to pick up whatever I can pick up, okay? We're just going to start by here. And I'm just going to try my best. The first book that I'm going to mention is Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. I cannot believe I still haven't read this yet. Well, now I know why. It took me ages to read this. I was like, oh, I'm going to read it straight away. This was a gift from my friend Jade from paperback to hardback. And I was like, yeah, I'm so excited for this. And then I realised, this is so heavy, that I was going to read this for Horror-a-thon, which is hosted by my friend Lauren, and I don't own many horror, I own a couple of horror, and I'm planning to keep them all for that day, for that week that we're doing that readathon, so it will be a little longer that I haven't read this, but I am so excited to do so. I believe it follows a boy who goes into the woods and comes back a little bit different, remembering nothing about what happened for the 6 days that he went missing. Fascinating. I also have the audiobook on Audible ready to read along with it. It is so unbelievably heavy, I don't know why. It is a chonker of a book. I'm so excited for it. Now what do I do with all these books to put them down? The second book, which is also a chonker, is House of Earth and Blood, which is described in the City series by Sarah J. Maas. This was another gift from my delightful friend Jade. I actually ordered myself a copy and texted her. I was like, look what I ordered. She was like, I've just ordered that for you. And I was like, okay. So I did have 2 copies, but I gifted mine away. Lord knows what this is about. I have absolutely no idea. A demon murders someone's closest friend, and I think they investigate the killer / demon. I have no idea. I've never read a Sarah J. Maas book in my life, and I now own Throne of Glass, Crescent City, and Court of Thorns and Roses, and yet I haven't read any of them. So my mission next month, or maybe even this month if I can fit it in, is to read a Sarah J. Maas book. The next book, which is the last chonky book, I picked up 2 days ago, and that is Chain of Gold, The Last Hours by Cassandra Clare. You're probably thinking, why the heck, bro, because I happen to know you're only on the second book of Them All Instruments and you hate them. Yes, you would be right. However, this book was on sale for $11.99. It is cheaper than the paperback version of it, and I was like, I want it, and it's the collector's first edition. And I don't know about anyone else, but I hate the plastic covers. Oh, I don't know, you can't even see that. I hate the plastic covers on hardbacks, but obviously they come with hardbacks, that's just how things work. This one doesn't have one, and I was like, I want that. So when I saw it on sale, on the artwork, I was like, fine, I'm gonna get it. I'm just gonna get it. I don't know what it's about, but I shouldn't really tell you what every one of these books is about, because we'll never get there. Anyway, so it doesn't matter. But it is motivating me to continue a little bit faster with the Shadowhunter universe, so I can get to this beautiful copy soon. But I'm going to stop telling you what they're all about now, because it's going to take me a long time. Ooh, another gift from Jade. I'm starting to realise a lot of gifts come from Jade. Thank you, Jade. If you've seen my last haul, for my birthday she bought me Every Heart a Doorway. She has since then gifted me every other book in that series. And I know you're thinking, Jesus Christ, that is an expensive series. Yeah, I know. I know. It has been a shock every time I've opened these parcels, trust me. but it is in fact every book. We have Down Among the Sticks and Bones, Beneath the Sugar Sky, In an Absent Dream, and Come Tumbling Down. We buddy read all of these. They are all 5 stars. I love them all the world. And they are probably one of my most treasured books. I love them a lot. A book that I have read is My Dog Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I gave this a 5-star. I loved this book. I thought it was fabulous, really hard hitting, but very much enjoyed it. It is a book about, I can't remember the girl's name, Vanessa. I've done that twice now on video, twice. Her name is Vanessa, and when she was 14, she was groomed by her English teacher, and it shows us a dual timeline between the present and the past and how this has affected her, and her discovery to finding out that she was groomed and not actually in love. Very hard book, but such a good one if you can get to it. Then we have a book that I was sent to review, and that is The Nothing Man by Catherine Ryan Howard. I just finished this the other day. You will see my full thoughts in my August wrap-up, coming at the end of August, obviously. But I didn't love this one. It's a 3-star. It is about a book gets written about a murderer called The Nothing Man. He's a serial killer, and it's written by one of the survivors of his attacks, and he realises that he needs to go and kill her to stop her finding out who he is. Very fascinating, told from the perspective of the killer, which is very interesting, something I've not read myself, and I was like, wow, that is impressive. Didn't have quite the payoff I wanted, but you may love it. Thought it was an interesting one. Another one that I received from publishers was The Taking of Annie Thorne and The Chalk Man, both by C.J. Tudor. I just hit myself with that. I won a giveaway for these, and I really, really like them. They are the large print copies. Very interesting. I was chuffed to get these because they're both signed, which matched my other people's copy, which is also signed. I don't think you can see that, but it was very exciting to receive these. So I don't think I've discussed these in other videos, but I may be wrong. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think I've done a haul on these yet. But that is the Hunger Games series. I bought these in a charity shop. They were 25p each. 25p each. Crazy. I might have mentioned them in the haul, but I can't find the haul that I mentioned them in, so maybe not. But this is the books. I love them a lot. I haven't read these two, but I did a reading the Hunger Games for the first time reading vlog. I'm actually really proud of that video. I really enjoyed doing it. I will link it up there. 5-star. Haven't got to the other 2 yet, but I'm planning on doing the same video with those 2 if you guys enjoy that. The next is the Gone series by Michael Grant. Not the entire thing. I think there's 3 more books to get, but these are the ones I own. I have read Gone, and I have a dedicated review to why it was offensive on my video. I will link that in the cards above you. I bought this one brand new and then realised I wanted to continue with the series but didn't want to support that author, so I bought these 3 here second hand for £12 off Depop, which not a bad price including shipping. So I didn't buy these brand new. If you're all wondering why I'm contradicting myself from that review video, I'm not supporting the author. I just kind of want to see where the series goes. My review is up there if you'd like to see my full thoughts and opinions on why I thought it was offensive. Next we have another gift that I literally received yesterday, and that is the Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare. Connor kindly gifted these to me, and I'm very excited to read them. I have no idea which order they go in. I think it's Clockwork Angel and whichever. I don't know. We almost had a disaster. Oh my god. I love these. I like the new spines. I know a lot of people don't. I went through a lot of trouble hoping to get these spines. I waited a long time to buy these books to get their spines, and in the end Connor gifted them for me, and I did get these spines, and I was very excited about it, so thank you, Connor. Another book that I was sent by the author to review was Room 119 by T.F. Lintz. I think we all know I've spoken about this review a lot. I've done live streams with the author and everything. I really, really enjoy this book. I've done a dedicated review, so I will link it up in the cards. 5-star. Just a little spoiler there. Amazing. Trying to get through these pretty quick now. Then I bought The Fever Code by James Dashner. I bought this because I didn't even know it existed. I have the original 4, which has a prequel in it, and apparently this is another prequel, so I'm a little bit confused why there's 2 prequels. But who am I to judge? So I'm kind of excited to get to this one, but I want to read the Maze Runner series again first before I move on to this one. But I got it. Then Jade yet again pre-ordered me a copy of The Queen and Nothing by Holly Black, I think for my birthday, or maybe shortly after my birthday, for the paperback edition, and I finally got it the other day. I've read it, it is all done. The review is in my wrap-up for July, so you can check it out there. But I was really excited to receive this. The last in the Cruel Prince series. Bittersweet that it's ended. Very, very sad. But thank you, Jade. I mean, this is just like a sponsored Jade video, jeez. Oh my god, we have another one from Connor. I swear, all the gifts are like partnered together for the majority, so that's why there's so many of them. I'm really sorry, but we'll get to more that I've paid for myself soon. That is Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson, gifted to me by Connor because it was a bit weird. I gifted it to either Connor or Jade or something, and then one of them gifted it back to me. Or did I even gift one? I can't even remember. I've gifted this to someone. I think I've also gifted it to Kira now. It was a kind of a bit of a weird square triangle thing where we were just gifting each other to read together. It was all very confusing, and they made me wait. It like released, and I was so excited because I loved Good Girls Guide to Murder, and they made me wait to read this. I was like, this is not how friends treat each other. Disgraceful. Loved this. Quick spoiler. 5-star. The next book that I have was gifted to me by Connor for my birthday. Oh no, it says random gift, and that was Normal People by Sally Rooney. Really loved this. I know a lot of people don't actually like the normal people. I think a lot of people don't like Sally Rooney's writing. I really enjoyed it. I discussed my problems with it in my wrap-up, but for the most part I really, really enjoyed this book. I thought it was really, really good. It is very much an acquired taste, but it worked for me. I want to read her next book, which is Conversation with Friends, pretty soon. Then I purchased a copy of Loveless by Alice Oseman. I purchased this all excited, like I want to read it now, and then the group chat that I'm in for BookTube decided that they wanted to buddy read it, so we are doing that in 6 days, I think. I'm so excited for it. Like, it has taken a little while to get to, but I'm so ready for it. And Alice Oseman is just like author of the year for me. She's just blowing me away, and so I'm really, really excited to read this and continue to support the legend that is Alice Oseman. Next we have Vox by Christina Dalcher. I just picked this up in the works for the 3 for £5 section, and it sounded absolutely amazing. Basically, it's that women have a certain amount of words, and once they've run out of words for the day, they're done. 100 words a day. Absolutely incredible. What a concept. I only read the first chapter, just when I like bought it, the day I bought it, I read the first chapter. It was like a couple of pages. Oh, blew me away. I'm so excited. I'm reading this month as a buddy read with my friend Catherine. I'm so ready for this. I already know it's going to be so good. Watch that disappoint me, and I'm like, oh, I already knew it was so good, and then it's actually really bad, and I'm like, oh. Then I read, it's not a thing. Then I hauled Burn Our Bodies Down by Rory Power. This was a gift from Celeste. She knew I really wanted this book, so thank you so much, Celeste. That's really, really kind of you. I have already read this book. It was a disappointing read for me, unfortunately. I did give it a 2-star. Especially, I had such high expectations from Wilder Girls, so I think if I just read it with no expectations, it would have been a 3. But for me, there was just such high levels from Wilder Girls, which was an incredible read, that this one just brought it down. Like, I literally picked this up from my reception downstairs when it was delivered, and I read it straight away. I had to. I was so excited for it. And I think because of that, the letdown was harder than if I just picked it up on a whim. It just was too weird for me. Didn't quite go the way I wanted, and I didn't quite understand. Next was a gift from my friend Robbie, and that is Sweet Evil by Wendy Higgins. I think we're buddy reading that this month. This is not something I'd have usually picked up. I think it's like one of those teen dramas about fallen angels and vampires, but like, teen me is quaking. I am ready for this. I'm ready to head back to my roots as a 13-year-old and go wild. And it's floppy, so like, I'm so excited. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this will be a quick read, as it's such like a young novel. I'm really, really excited for this. So me and Robbie will be reading that this month. I'm starting to realise how much I have to read this month as buddy reads. It's a lot, isn't it? It's a lot. Jade also gifted me a copy of Scythe by Neil Schusterman. The reason she gifted me this is because she was like, I'm going to force you to read it. And the reason I'm going to force you to read it by gifting it to you. And I was like, thank you, lovely. Thank you so much. Like, I appreciate the gift, but I can see what you're doing here. I can see your ways. But to be fair, I have been really excited to read this story, and a lot of people talk about it. I think it's a sci-fi that I'll actually enjoy for once. Me and sci-fi, you know, my problems. But I'm so excited for this. I think it's going to be amazing. Thank you, Jade, again. Then I had A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Kemmerer. I was sent this by Kira very, very recently. Thank you so much, Kira. I really appreciate this. It's the sequel to A Curse So Dark and Lonely, which I also still haven't read since my last haul. My TBR is just too big. Too big. It's stressing me out. Next we have Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I was gifted this by Lauren, and it's something I've heard so much about. It's like a detective story based in like the 20s. I could be completely wrong, but that's what I was under the impression that it was, and I love a little murder mystery kind of vibe, and this sounds like it's going to be like a cozy one. I could be totally off base here, and everyone who's read it is thinking to themselves, oh, you have a big storm coming. But I'm ready to like settle down with a hot chocolate in this book, hopefully this month if I have time amongst the buddy reads, because this is exciting. I'm so ready for this. I love how in every book haul I'm like, I'm so excited about every book, but like, I'm so excited. A book I actually received yesterday, 2 books that I actually received yesterday are coming next, and that is Girl, Serpent, Thorn. I am so excited about this book because the cover... Jade gifted me this, so like, a bit shy admitting this. But I didn't know what it was about. I just saw the cover and was like, yeah, of course I need that cover. Like, I want it. I'm gonna have it. So I put it in my wish list, ready to purchase once my book buying ban's over. Because of course I'm on a book buying pan when you see all of the books I've got now. And then I arrived at my door yesterday and I was like, hee hee. And then I read the blurb and I was like, wow, that sounds so good. So I probably should have just read the blurb anyway. But actually, if I read the blurb, I was like, oh. That's what I did with the Raven Boys. I only bought it because it was cheap. Lol. Oops. And now I'm not interested. But this is stunning. Look at that. Oh my god. I am so ready for this. Apparently it's Persian as well, which is really cool. So I'm hopefully going to tuck into this soon, and it is going to look good on my shelf. This is going to be one of the ones that I'm like, when I finally get a set of bookshelves, when I've moved out somewhere bigger than my forearm, I'm going to have this facing outwards, you know, one of those ones that everybody has just facing out. Oh, yes. Beautiful. Another book that I received yesterday was The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This was gifted to me by the delightful Celeste, who is so cute, and I was so excited to receive this because I've heard mixed things, don't get me wrong, but is it just me, or I know it's big, but like it's exciting looking. Like, look at the dragon. Like, I just look at that, not because it's a beautiful cover, which is usually why I like to buy books, but just because when I look at it, I'm like, wow, this is stunning, and like calling to me, and the plot sounds really cool as well because it's like a whole political fantasy kind of thing. I have here that the dragons don't make that much of an appearance, which is going to make me really sad, but I am excited to one day soon make this dedication and sit and read this massive book. I mean, when it's a hardcover this big, you know it's going to be a long read, but like hardcovers also are like stuck to the middle of the page. This is like small writing everywhere. It even has a glossary in the back, so you can check what the words mean. I'm going to be flipping back to the glossary every 5 seconds. It's going to take me a year to read. But it is a dedication I'm ready to make. And I will. Very, very soon. A box set that I picked up in the works was the Selection series. I have read the first 3 and I'm yet to read the last 2. Oh my goodness, so far from what I've read, it's been a 5-star series. This was so up my alley, so my cup of tea, and if you haven't read these yet, I highly suggest you do. I absolutely adore this. Next we have The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I actually bought this for my boyfriend Liam as a gift, and the other day he was like, he tried to read a chapter and he couldn't get into it, and he kind of hoarded it for a long time. So the other day he was like, I'm gonna get rid of this, and I was like, no, you're not, it's mine. So now it's on my bookshelf, and I have no shame in that. I don't know how it's gonna go because the words do look a little bit funky, and I've heard it's a lot different to the TV show. But I think I've got the audiobook on hold for my library, so I'm gonna get into this in the next couple of days, and hopefully that will make a difference having the audiobook, and I can just enjoy it for what it is, not compared to the TV show. Next we have Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race by Rennie Edo Lodge. A book that I think is very important to be reading. I have not read it yet, however, it is just my first step in my process to becoming less ignorant about these issues. So I have purchased it and need to make the dedication to reading it pretty soon. So that is one of the most important ones on my bookshelf. Next we have The Slaughterman by Cassandra Parkin. Again, the works have just some gems in there that you need to like look through and read. I have not read this one yet, but the blurb sounds incredible. I'm really excited. It's just a nice little small one, easy to read. Next we have This Lie Will Kill You by Chelsea Pitcher. I don't know what this is about. Shouldn't have bought it, but I did. Mistakes were made. Something about 5 people in a contest to win 50 grand. I don't know. Shouldn't have bought it, but I did, so I'm going to read it. Then we have Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I've heard a lot of hype around this book, and so I finally picked it up. I'm trying not to let the hype influence me too much, because we all know that I do not get on well with books that are hyped. It just tends to ruin my reading experience. So I'm going to try very hard not to, but I am excited to get into this. Next we have The Choice by Claire Wade. Another gem from the works. I swear, let's all just go there and party, okay? Because we can find so much. This is once again one of those like government controlled books that just fascinate me. It's like a Big Brother style-esque, and it's about like your children get weighed every day at school, neighbours are reported on neighbours so that no one was safe from judgment, sugar is illegal, baking is a crime. I don't know, this just sounds like a fabulous little dystopian that I really want to hear more about. Fascinating. Hopefully one I will get to soon, because that sounds good. Next we have Throne of Glass, gifted by Jade. Again, she really wants me to read the series. It is one I've wanted to read. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I've seen a lot of reviews. It's always been on my radar, and I've kind of just thought to myself, this is a big series to let yourself get into right now. But like, what better time than now? Better time. So I'm excited for this one. I like fallen in love with the main character. Like, what's her name? Selena? Is that how you spell it? Selena? Because Books and Barbells read this book and then started cosplaying her everywhere, and I'm like following her on TikTok like, yes honey, you go. So I've fallen in love with the main character even though I've never read the book. So I'm excited to read the book and find out about this character who everyone seems to love. Next I have An Arc of Mayday by Josie Jeffrey, which was sent to me by her. So this is something I'm excited to get to. I only just received recently, so I haven't got to yet, but I will be. Get back in very, very shortly. Get back in. It's a vampire novel. Not something I usually have. A vampire detective novel, I believe. Very out on its own. Very ready for that. Next we have The Cheerleaders by Cara Thomas. I think this was one of the first books that I ever put onto my Goodreads want to read. My Goodreads want to read after watching a booktube video. I think it was the first one I came across, and then since then I've barely heard anything about it, and anything I have heard has been negative, but it had like this tiny bit of nostalgia for me. I was like, I just kind of want to read it because it's the first recommended book that I wanted to read. So I've got it. I've picked it up. I'm going to get to it at some point. It's a floppy boy, which excites me, and that's all that matters. Next I have Meddling Kids by Edgar Santero. Another horror that I'm planning on reading for Horathon, and it's a Scooby-Doo inspired book. So it's 4 people and a dog. I think one of them is dead because it looks like he's dead. It looks like he's a ghost, but I don't know for sure. And it's pretty chonky, but I think I could get to this and Imaginary Friend in Horathon if I try hard enough. I know they're very big books, both of them, but this looks so good. I'm like, I'll do it. I'll do it. So that should be off my TBR soon. It just sounds so intriguing. Another potential horror, maybe thriller, I'm not sure, you can tell me, is Feed by Myra Grant, also known as Sean Maguire. Sean Maguire, you know what I mean? This is about a zombie apocalypse, which is one of my favourite things. I love watching, reading anything apocalypse. Honestly, if you have any recommendations for apocalyptic books, please leave them down below, because I need more in my life. But this one is about, like, there's been like this thing for a long time, 20 years, yeah, and then 2 social media stars decide to go and investigate the situation. This sounds so good, and I swear like everybody in my friend group seems to own this book, so I'm like, well, I'm gonna own it too now. I need it. Then the last book, I know, the last book, this has been way too many books, I'm so sorry. The last book is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I am not a classic lover, however this one has such a cool plotline to it, and the thought of like a haunted house by a wife kind of thing just really floats my boat, and so I'm very much ready to settle into this book and give it a read. So that is what I will be doing very shortly. I'm tired. That was a lot of books. That was too much talking, and I thought I was going to give a synopsis on them all. Thank God I did not. Sorry for that, starting to do that and then realising I was not going to do that. I'm very sorry for that misleading turn of events. But if you did make it this far, then thank you so much. Why? I do not know. But I really appreciate you being here and watching this. As I said, if you have any book recommendations, especially apocalyptic ones, for anything, let me know down below so that when my book buying ban is over, I can then buy books, because hopefully I'll have read some of these and cleared some space on my TBR shelf. Obviously a lot of these I'd already read, but still, there's still a lot on my TBR. If you have not seen my other hauls, I will link my playlist somewhere around this screen. I think you can put a playlist up there, so there'll be a playlist up there for you. I've got, I think, only a couple videos in there, but you'll see all the books that I've owned for the last few months. There were a few more books in this, but they're ones I've already read and decluttered, so I didn't see the point in showing you. But I hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye!